I didn't. My bad. Yeah, can everyone hear me normally? Is it good? Is it quiet? Yes. Yeah, okay, hopefully. So yeah, welcome everyone. This is our first day of the bootcamp. We reopened after 1.5 years because we focused on our current members. But now, since everyone has better results than we wanted, than we expected, so we decided to reopen and expand our community. And today is just going to be an introduction. We are just going to talk about a few technical things, but today is just to set you on the right track to show you what to expect. And yeah, and we'll talk a bit about trading. So this is what we're going to talk about today. And at the end, we'll talk about structure. So you guys have at least something technical from the first call. All right. So before we talk about anything else, who am I and why should you listen to me? Right. I'm just 21 years old. So why me? So I started trading 6 years ago. I started making a decent amount of money 4 years ago, and then I started trading full time since then. So yeah, okay, I will close the chat. Yeah, one thing, if anyone has questions about anything, save it till the end of the call, okay? So we don't interrupt it for everyone. So I started trading I started full-time trading 4 years ago. So until now, it's my main income, right? And I learned most strategies. I was in Lit, I was in AlgoHub, I was trading SMC, ICT, retail things, but then I used all of the things that I learned and made my own edge, right? But we are still approaching the market with an institutional like logic. We still want to see, how big players trade, and we try to imitate them. This bootcamp will be run by me and my partner or assistant or a secondary coach, and his name is Ray. He started trading 5 years ago. He's FTMO funded, almost max allocated now. He started as a student, as most of you. He joined us in 2022, the end of 2022. So he got few payouts since then. And yeah, he doesn't have the most payouts of all students, but he is the nearest person to be trading exactly like me. So he's the only person I would trust with technicals, and he's the only person who is allowed to answer questions, technical questions in our main community. So you can rely on him. And why do I need a secondary coach? I'm not really nice with beginners. I'm not really patient anymore. I mentored over 400 people in the last 4 years. So, teaching basics is really boring for me. And that's why Ray is here. Ray is more patient with people. See, he's a good trader, but even a better person. So he has a big heart, and I hope that he will help you in your learning process. So before, as I said, we had a similar start to everyone. We watched YouTube. I watched YouTube. In my early days, I spent 14 hours a day studying for my first 3 years, 4 years, just backtesting, watching videos. It was my full-time job. I have white hair now. And yeah, we watched all YouTube content. So every single strategy out there, I probably tested it already. From SNR to Malaysian SNR to supply demand to SMC, ICT, lit, algo trading. I tested it all. And I also invested a lot in gurus. So thanks to that, I kind of learned how to teach. I learned what to do and what to not do. Just in my first 2 years, I spent nearly 100,000 on education. So this is just so you can compare. And yeah, but at the end, everyone is just buying fake poops and reinvesting the money for Lambo rentals and lifestyle. But you see on our Instagram, we don't really promote any of that. My goal with this brand, with Forex Speedrunner, is really to just promote education, good education for traders. Right now, I don't really make that much money from courses and mentorships, but my main goal is to build a big network of profitable traders. Then, if I manage to make people profitable, I'll have a good network that I can leverage in the future. So, where am I today? Okay. So as I said, I've been trading full-time for 4 years. So it's the end of 2021. So end of 2021 till now. So these are payouts from 2022. These are payouts from 2023. 2024, this 2024, I don't know, 2024. This some few recent payouts from FTMO. I couldn't fit more, so you can scan the codes just in case I think I'm capping. But you know, oh shit. What happened? Oh, good. So yeah, I also have the IP membership with A-Book Brokers. So, you know, this is an email as proof, but from Fusion. But what this means is that I'm trading a huge volume. You know, for example, just for bronze membership on Fusion, you have to open, I think, 10,000 lots a month. 1,000 or 10,000? I think it's, oh, let's just say 1,000. 1,000 lots, and then I also have IC markets professional status, and that's, you know, over 500,000 in portfolios in combined. So yeah, I don't really want to disclose how much I make, or I don't, but this is just a sneak peek. So some withdrawals from Fusion, some flip my FX books. Oh, this, yeah, some flips, and also some another withdrawals. Okay, well, that's enough. These are results for our community. So we got we got around 1 million in payouts. I would say close to 2 million, 1.5 to 2 million if we include withdrawals. And that's just students, that's not including me. And yeah, and now we are snowballing. We are gaining momentum now. So this is the first time in many years where we have really insane results. Over half of them are funded and paid out. I don't think you will ever see this in any community. I think an average successful community has, like, you know, one out of 10 people with some results, right? But it's still the same as the industry in general, right? Like top 1 to 5% have consistent results in the market. But here we managed to reach 50%, 40 to 60%. So yeah, that's why we're expanding right now. And also my goals for you, keep in mind that the goal is not to have the most payouts or make as much money as possible, especially in your phase, in your stage. The goal is to be able to trade one singular account and have multiple payouts from it. The moment you can do this for, you know, 6-12 months, I think you will not need anything. You don't need to change anything in your trading anymore, and you'll be good. All right. So yeah. So let's talk about the objectives of this bootcamp. Oh, very nice GIFs. Okay. So first of all, you're here to unlearn you are here to unlearn to relearn. So please stay open-minded, right? Everyone here is for one simple reason. Either you're not profitable, not consistent, or you are missing some pieces. So drop the ego, whatever results you had, whatever amount of payouts you had, you're here to just unlearn to relearn. So let's say when we talk about liquidity, don't just, you know, wave your hand and think that you already know it all, because you don't. You're here to change your view about trading. We'll talk about all possible aspects in trading. So everyone is missing something else, right? And I'll try to fill up all these holes. And you're here to get some real reality checks also. So I hope it will not be painful. So let's talk about why most strategies fail. And it's simple. Everyone trades the same, right? Everyone trades them. Even now, when people trade ICT, they think they're special, but you know, ICT is basically the new retail. There's millions, hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of traders trading ICT. So if everyone trades the same thing, I don't think we can succeed, right? So trading is about exploiting an edge, something that goes unnoticed, some anomaly within the market, right? We are retail traders, so we don't really have any crazy data. And all we can rely on is technical analysis, maybe some fundamentals. Fundamentals are delayed, indicators are delayed. So the only thing we have is technical analysis, which can help us somehow navigate the market. And footprint, for example, that's something that could be used in future. All right. So, but since everyone is trading technicals, it's a bit hard to find an edge, right? And if everyone sees it, this is called a strategy being arbed out. If everyone sees it, then the strategy will cease to exist. So yeah, but no worries. Although everyone here will trade similar, for a strategy to be completely arbed out, it would have to be 100% mechanical. It would mean that if I enter a trade, then every single person here enters the same trade with exact same entry, with exact same exit, with same stop losses, same risk management, which will not happen, right? On the Instagram stories, I explained that our strategy is systemized. It's structured. It's really easy to follow. I'm not that easy. it will still be hard, but it's structured. There's steps that you can follow and make it easier for yourself, but there are also still components of subjectivity, meaning you will maybe get 70% of the same traits as me, right? But our whole MT4, MT5 history will not be the same. And the 70% is only if you learn the strategy completely, right? So for example, Ray is someone who has 70, 80% of the same traits as me right now. Okay. So one more reason why most strategies fail, they usually trade something imaginary, like support and resistance, right? It's really imaginary. They're imagining some people buying and selling there. There's some sell and buy pressure. But if you want to build an edge, you have to follow the market, follow the foundation of the market. And one and only reason why the market is running is liquidity. So if you're happy with me, then you can stay and learn my strategy. If not, and you want to build your own edge in future, let's say, you still have to navigate yourself around liquidity. Otherwise, I don't think you'll build an amazing edge. Okay. So most of you here traded lit, SMC, or ICT. Let's start with lit. What's their problem? So this is your legend Reim. Oh, okay, I'll write it here so everyone knows. Okay, so what's the problem with lit? I was part of lit of the first season. I mean, what their marketing is cool, right? Ping ponging, having high RR, catching every single move. Have 1 to 10, 1 to 20 risk to reward traits. But the problem with lit is whether you learn it inside or from leaked courses, it's too subjective, right? So, for example, if you have price action like this, what does subjective mean? Someone will draw a trend line like this, someone will draw it like this, and then someone will, I don't know, draw it like this with an SMT here, right? Like you can interpret the price action in multiple different ways. What this leads to is inconsistency, of course. Yeah, so when you build your edge, you want to have at least an objective core. You want to have something that you can build upon, but the whole thing is too subjective to trade, right? If you backtest, if I have you backtest one random price action in 2021, you are gonna get some trades, and if I have you backtest the same price action after 2 months, you are probably gonna enter different trades. And in such communities, you can also see that people are actively trading against themselves. Price action is running, and half of people are buying, and half of them are selling. And and then there's another group that's losing in between, right? It's completely random. So we don't want that. We want something that's repeatable. It has low win ratio. So I interviewed most of you here about your problems. Most people said that you guys have revenge trading problems, you have FOMO problems, it's hard to hold trades, right? So just the fact that you have low win ratio is, a minus for psychology. On paper, it's nice, you can lose four trades and then you can get a 1 to 10. But in reality, if you hit 4 trades, you're not gonna be really thinking straight. Yeah, even I don't think straight after 4 losses, 5 losses, right? Like you'll be influenced by your emotions somehow. So if you cannot think straight, how can you trade properly long term, right? So it's causing psychological problems. And this is also why people revenge trade. There's no framework. So if you watch the courses, you know that they're just throwing a lot of content, a lot of, a bunch of concepts at you. They don't really tell you what to do with that, right? They just tell you, oh, this is medium inducement, this is a trend line, a build up, this is an inducement with momentum, maybe Asia timing, but it's this pile of concepts that it's really hard to implement. So no framework, no structure. It's a bit delusional, right? If there was a trader that has at least half of performance of what these people claim, right? So you see people catching 1 to 5 every day, 1 to 10 every day. Not even every day. If they do it 3 days out of 5 days, they will be billionaire by the end of the year, realistically, right? But none of them even have 1 million on their name. So it's bullshit. And if you ask them for any longer results, right? Let's say at least 1 or 2 years of results, they don't, because it's short-term results only, right? You have big winning streaks, but you also have big losing streaks, but people only share the winning streaks, of course. So it's simply not realistic. SMT and ICT, SMC and ICT. Okay, so this is most people trade this, so they know it's a lot of cherry picking, right? If you mark an FEG on the chart and you mark like 100 of them and see how many of them work, maybe 30%, 30% of them will work, right? But people will always cherry pick this one, this exact one, the price bounce off and they trade off that. So yeah, it's cherry picking. If you don't believe me, I've coded most of the concepts separately. I try to collect data on it on a big sample, and none of them really have any positive expected value. Like you cannot really use it as a core even to build an edge. There's too many concepts. So, you know, if you watch ICT from 2020, you can see how many concepts he added. Every month it's something new, right? So again, it's bullshit. And there's also a fake sensation of control. The problem with ICT traders and SSC traders is that they don't really understand liquidity. They just know that high and lows are liquidity, which in theory is correct, right? There's always some buy stops, sell stops. There's always some stop losses from the sellers and buyers, but you know, they cannot categorize them. A high is a high, and that's it. But there are different highs. There's different ways the highs are created, and different purposes of each structural point. So again, it's not enough to be profitable, right? So you can see there's some ICT midget. Okay. The truth, there is no magic formula. Even if you join this mentorship, there is no magic pill, no red pill. You'll not have a high win rate, high RR strategy. I mean, it is possible in theory, right? So it's like a holy trading triangle. You have risk to reward, you have win ratio, right? And then you have frequency. And most of us humans will only have 2 out of 3 maximum, right? For example, lit traders are focusing on, lit traders are focusing on risk to reward. So they have high risk to reward and frequency. What suffers later is win ratio, right? They have negative win ratio. What the retail traders are focusing on is win ratio. So they try to have above 50% win rate, which is what I call positive win rate, and frequency. So they have few trades a day, a week, right? But they trade 1-to-1, 1-to-2 max. What we focus on and what I think is the healthiest for the mind, this is not the best for return, but is the best for consistency, is to focus on win ratio and risk to reward while cutting off frequency. What to expect? You can still get few trades a week. On average, we have like 4 trades a week. On a good week, you can have 8, 10 trades. On a bad week, you're going to wait it out and catch maybe 1 trade, right? But we really want to have a win ratio above 40, 50%. I would say 40% is a goal for most students. And risk to reward, most of the time, I don't trade less than 1-to-4. So it's always 1-to-4, all the way to, I don't know, 1-to-10 or 1-to-20. So yeah, there's no magic tricks, only repeatable and a logical way to read the market. So this is what I will try to teach you. This is my goal, basically, right? And that's, for me, the real edge. After this, it's really easy to build strategies. It's really easy to build edges on other instruments, but that's your own problem in future. That's not what I'm gonna do. So lit versus speed, lit versus us. This is what most of your charts, most of your PNL looks like, right? Sometimes you think you're crazy. Oh my God, I just got 2 wins with 1-to-10. And you think you can do this every week, every month, right? If you do this, even, yeah, as I said, if you can do this for 1 year straight, you're gonna be a billionaire. But with the big upside, you also have a big downside. So the losing periods are really huge, right? So when I asked most of you said that you're not consistent, that when you win big, when you lose, it's a burnt account. That's exactly it. This is your 20 loss streak right here. And then these people tend to blame themselves. They think it's them, it's not a strategy. But if the strategy is making it hard for you to trade it, then of course you will make mistakes, you'll revenge trade. And this is inevitable, right? Don't get me wrong. We will have losing streaks. It's inevitable, but it will not be this drastic, right? And then, this is really imaginary. This is really just fiction, but this big move never really comes. Most of you will probably stay down here after the big loss streak and probably go to 0, right? So ignore this one, ignore this big push. With our edge, we will not have such a rapid growth like them, right? We'll not really have a 50-hour week or 40-hour week. I don't remember the last time me having that, must be like 3 years ago. But yeah, we'll not focus on that. The goal for you is just to make 5, maybe 10% per month. This is really top 1% of 1%. This top 1% of all profitable traders, to make 100% per year. You're doubling your capital every year. If you have what happened to my mouse? Yeah. If you have a good track record with low downside, with low drawdown, with higher Sharpe ratio, you will most likely get investors. So right now it's really easy to gain capital with prop firms. Later on, it's not that hard to gain external capital from investors, as long as you can show consistency. People will prefer to see, 30% gain every year with, let's say, less than 3 to 6%. Oh shit, 3 to 6% drawdown. Than a 200% gain with let's say 40% drawdown, right? Nobody really wants this. If someone shows me this, I'll gladly invest, 100, 200K. But if someone is telling me they can double, but there's a big chance of them burning, I don't think I'll even give them a 1,000. Yeah. And also in future, when you get payouts from prop firms, you want to grow it and you want to have peace of mind while growing the capital. So yeah. But if none of it works, then what works? If you want to build an edge, this is what I did. This is how I built my edge right now. The first step is also, of course, to follow the institutional logic. So what pushes the market? Oh, liquidity is fuel, right? So how does price interact with liquidity, right? What do big players do? And how can I follow that? Just following this cycle of thoughts, you can come up with some interesting theories and interesting concepts. But Lit and ICT somehow did follow these concepts, that foundation, and they still failed. So what's missing? What they missed is structure, right? There is no clear structure to any of those strategies. It's not repeatable. It's completely random. So let's talk about our edge a bit, so you guys can have a picture of how you're gonna trade, what to expect. And I'll explain to you how and why I trade like this. So we trade M15. And why? Well, first of all, it's way cleaner. This is M5. This is M15. Is this M5? Oh, this is M1 even. So this is M1, this is M15. You see how much cleaner it is, right? If I told you how many people are here, 60 people. If I told all of you to trade this price action, you guys are gonna come up with some crazy shit, right? Like the trades are gonna be completely random. There's too much noise. There's too much information. Most of you would probably lose yourself. If I told you to trade this price action, this is what I assume is 1 or 2 days of price action. There's not much. Oh, there's a fake bigger structure, maybe liquidity sweep, right? There's another, maybe we induce buyers. Oh, there's maybe another move here, right? Or maybe, okay. Some people would wait for this to be taken out. Some people would take a mitigation, but here you have also a fake breaker structure, a stop on. So, maybe another possible move. In worst case, a mitigation after confirmation. Like it's really hard to see something random, right? Okay, just for some people, some people might try to sell here, okay. But, except for this, it's really hard to force trades. And this is exactly what I want from you. I want you to have less amount of trades, but have cleaner trades. Also, if you trade M1, let's say you're taking a buy here on M1, you literally have like 10 minutes to decide on your trade, right? It's not really that great. And in first cases, like during this news, or let's say during this noisy price action, you can see it's bearish candle and one bullish candle. You have like 2 minutes to decide if you're gonna take a trade or not, which is of course not enough, right? And when people are rushing like this, they cannot think rationally, and they make mistakes. Then after mistakes, they feel bad and they start emotional trading. It's stupid. So this is why we do this. It's way more consistent. You'll have less trades, so you'll not really have any big losing days for no reason, and it's way cleaner. So what you'll see on this chart is probably what I see. One more reason for M15 is because market is really fractal, right? When we analyze M15, we kind of have to be aware of H1, right? We have to know what's happening on H1. Then we also have to be aware of H4 daily, so we can know if there's a big move coming or not. But if you trade M1, you are too small, you're too zoomed in the market. And most people are not aware of what's happening outside, right? I mean, this looks cool, but then maybe there's a weekly FVG right here, and suddenly you get a 200 pip move, and you don't know why it happens. This happens pretty often. So intraday traders are always getting caught in such, random moves, but it's not random. They just didn't pay enough attention to higher time frame. So for that reason, we choose M15. This is also from my own experience from teaching. As I said, I taught over 400 people before you. In 2021, I was actually trading M1 like you guys. But yeah, there were people with real big payouts, but the losing people are losing a lot, and it's disgusting. So I would rather if majority of people did not make too much, but they were consistent. And losing people are gonna be like near break even, but you're not gonna burn thousands for no reason. So this is families with intra swing. If you want to have a happy, healthy family, intra swing is what I came up with. It's basically intraday / swing. If you get confluences for a big move, you can hold the move, right? You can swing the move. But let's say when the price action is uncertain, then you're gonna trade intraday. You're gonna try to catch smaller trades. Sometimes the price action is completely fucked up, and that's when we don't trade at all, and you're with your happy, loving family. If you trade M1 and you're caught in one of those, loss streaks, then this is your household. Bad mood, destroyed mental health, and most of people I know that are losing like this, they cannot even sleep. Or even in winning days, the reward is so high, you get so much dopamine from it that you're in like an ecstatic state for hours. But yeah, so we also only trade Euro USD. I'll tell you why. It's very soon. But look at this. It's gay. It's too much, right? Too much information. Most of you cannot even trade one pair profitably, and they are trying to trade 3-4 pairs. Why? Just to increase the frequency? That's stupid, right? But look at this. Oh my God. If one pair is not enough, we can add another Euro USD or a third one. And suddenly you have more pairs to trade and analyze. Way nicer. But why single pair? If you trade, let's say, 2 pairs, you are basically trading 2 different edges, 2 separate edges at once, right? Most people have this false illusion that they're diversifying the risk. Let's say they think if they lose on Euro USD, they might win on GU, and then the losses are mitigated, right? And they might even end up in profit. So yeah, that's true. You can somehow mitigate the risk. You are somehow sometimes diversifying the risk. And also they think that, oh, they'll have more trades, right? They'll have more wins. So 2 upsides, that they'll win on EU and they'll win on GU. So on winning periods, they have double winning period. Sounds amazing to me. But one day, and that is inevitable, it will come, you will have a losing streak both on EU and GU, right? It will happen no matter who you are. It's not skill. It's not about skill. It's not about your psychology. It's just statistics. It's gonna happen, statistically speaking. And when this happens, you are gonna have a double losing period. Imagine your worst loss streak on Euro USD. Some people had 10 loss streaks, some people had 11 loss streaks despite doing everything right. And now imagine you're losing 22 trades while doing everything right. How well would you feel? Not too well. And your account either. Losing periods can line up, unfortunately. Now, when you talk about technicals, some of you try to convince me that you trade the same as me, that you are trading similarly. I can assure you, the only thing similar we have in common is, the only thing we have in common is maybe we mark the same level, but that's it, right? Because in our trading strategy, we have specific levels with specific confirmations, meaning in theory, I categorize liquidity into, A, B, C, D, E types. And each type, for each type, I have a set of confirmations that I want to see. But most people don't. They'll just see that this is one low, this is another low, this is another low, and this is another low, right? And most people will, again, try to execute a buy. Most people are trading M1 breaker structure. Most people don't even wait for confirmation. and they'll get a loss on every single level here. This is from last week. So yeah, this will also mean that you're gonna miss more trades, but you know, it's way safer. So yeah, here, try to focus on what really matters. We all have an A game, right? We all have A tier trades, S tier trades, trades that are amazing, that are perfect. And we all know that if we only take these trades, we're gonna be profitable, right? It's gonna be really easy. But no matter what, we'll always have B tier trades and C tier trades also, less probable ones. And then the pain, the D tier trades. This is when people emotional trade. This is when people take weird trades without confirmations or with little to no confluences. But most people focus on the wrong thing. They just focus on improving their A game, right? But do you really think that you're not winning enough in your trading? If you look back for the last 2-3 months, no, most of you, I saw some trading histories, most of you would do really fine if you improve your D-tier game, right? But the problem is none of you actually look at it and none of you actually focus on that. When I analyzed one of my students, he burned over 30,000 in challenges, and we analyzed every single account. None of the accounts were burned due to technicals, but it was burned due to weird trades, shit trades, emotional trades, FOMO, right? So that's what I'll try to focus on also on this bootcamp. I'll try to solidify your trading. And let's talk a bit about mindset before going to the charts. So the best way to learn is to not treat this as a show, to not treat this as Netflix. Don't just binge watch this, okay? You have to apply. I will give you some tasks after every call, some homework after every call, but know that these homeworks are not enough. It's up to you to do the work, okay? These homeworks are just for me to have, an idea of how everyone is doing. But you have to apply. You have to make the system yours, make the concepts yours, right? Just knowing that on this type of liquidity, we have to do this is not enough. You have to see it 100 times for you to trust it in the real market, right? You have to do it 100 times in backtest so you can see it in the live market so you don't miss it, right? The moment you miss or you do something different, that's when you deviate from the edge. And that's when you're in, it's your own problem at that point, right? So you can rewatch this video later on, pause, every time I say something, every time I mention something, go to the chart, see if it's real or not, see if it's true or not, and create your own expectations based on the things you see. During this mentorship, you'll do a lot of markups, you'll observe a lot, you'll have a lot of remarks, okay? So you can ask me any questions after the calls. You can ask Ray any questions after the calls, or you can ask questions at the end of the call. One thing I wanted to make you take notes. I wanted to take notes for you, so you can learn from it, like a PDF style thing. But the retention from reading is the worst in history right now because of TikTok. So reading is the worst way to learn. It's the worst way to to absorb information, right? So it's better if you listen to this. It's better if you take your own notes, if you make it your own. Make a PDF, make a Word document, make a Discord and write everything there. It doesn't really matter. And also, you can ask me to review your notes if there's something missing or if you misunderstood something. So there's no problem with that. But yeah, you have to do your own thing. Okay, just watching and reading is not enough, unfortunately. So yeah, as I said, watching is not doing. You don't finish by consuming, you grow by doing, and only by doing you become Batman. Look at this handsome lad. Your objective right now during this mentorship is to learn. It's not to make money. You'll not make money by the end of this bootcamp, unfortunately. That's the truth. You can gamble if you want. You can buy a program and trade if you want. That's your own decision. But I do not recommend you to do anything until you finish everything, unless you already have a strategy and you're here to just, try to find some components that you might use or not. The goal is also to not finish, even after this bootcamp is finished. You're not finished. You're always learning. Even when I'm profitable now, I'm still working on my trading every day. I'm still learning new things. I'm still testing new things. I'm still trying to find better alternatives to everything, right? But we are never finished. And it's not just in trading, it's also in life, right? I don't really like teaching teenagers because they think that the moment they make enough money, they are gonna be finished with life. But yeah, no, we're always learning and improving. Not to make money yet. And yeah, you should practice until this strategy or these concepts become muscle memory or instinct. So when I trade now, I don't really think much. Of course, there are a few things to still think about, but I don't struggle with anything. Like I don't have any question marks when I trade. And that's what I mean when I say you should make this strategy your own. Right? Okay. The right mindset. I don't know what's on this slide, but yeah, okay. The results are unfortunately not guaranteed. I can only guarantee some results if people do one-to-one with me, because I will actually, spend 20 hours with them on a Zoom call and I'll fix all the problems. But this is a group learning event. So yeah, it's gonna be really hard for me to give everyone this individual focus. But you can somehow increase your chance for success with your commitment and hard work. Progress, again, it's fully up to you how much time you spend on charts and how well you do it. There are people who are with me for 1 year and they cannot show me a single set of data on anything. They didn't do anything. They didn't backtest nothing. And then they're asking after 1 year why they're not profitable. They're stupid, right? They're lazy. But there are people who joined me 2 months ago in one-to-one. And just after 2 months, they finished the program in 1 month, the program that is supposed to be 3 to 6 months. And the next month they got funded, got a payout, got a really clear history. I see NT5 history for most of my students. So it's really nice. There's no gambles, there's no random trades, just executing the plan perfectly. And also being passive will not work. Okay. So if some of you think that you're being low key, that you're working in silence, it's stupid also. If you have questions, just ask. And yeah, be active, be intentional. It's better to ask stupid questions than, learn something wrong and then suffer from it in future. And also, one more thing. If we finish day 2 of content and we go to day 3 and you still don't understand the content from day 2, you will have 5 days to master it, to ask questions. But if on day 2 or day 4, I see that you make mistake with some concepts from day 2, then from that point, it's clear to me, it's clear to older students, it's clear to the other coaches that you're bullshitting, that you're wasting time. And at that moment, nobody's really motivated to help you. So keep that in mind. And yeah, if you're ready to stop burning money, then we can go to the core theory, to the technical part. Lastly, I hope you guys will have fun during this bootcamp. I hope we'll build some nice relation. I don't know if everyone will be added to the main Discord after this, but as I said at the beginning, my goal is to find good traders, good or talented traders, and add them to our community so we can expand. But yeah, so if anyone has any questions, you can ask right away before we go to the technical part.